Our first seedlings were planted on pit 1 in March 2021, and we had the traditional owners here for that. There was a little ceremony and people talked about the history of the mine and their hurt from the past of what had happened and their hopes for the future and what might be achieved. And it's actually really hard to put into words the emotion and the power of that day, and it's really going to sit and resonate with me forever. The traditional owners planted the first 100 seedlings on this landform, and throughout various visits that we've had since then, it's really cool to bring them back here and they can see how their seedlings are going, how the ecosystem's already starting to develop and show signs of progressing into a little bushland. And there's also the fauna habitat areas which we are working with the traditional owners on what species they want to see planted there, what sort of bush foods are going to attract what sort of fauna. So this landform, we've really started from scratch with the traditional owners and want them to be part of this and on the journey with us to see it develop and see it grow into a beautiful ecosystem.
Kakadu native plants first started in 2004-05. Basically was set up to collect seed, but now we're a full ecosystem restoration company. So all aspects of the ecosystem restoration, from collecting seed to propagating, managing the plantations, irrigation installation, fire management, weed management, and consultations with local communities. The volume of trees we have to produce here would be about 1.2 million trees. It will be made up of 40 to 50 different species. In fact, there could be more come in. In that time, we will start to work towards, I think the next big planting in 2023, I think is probably 70 to 100,000 stems, and then it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I think the final plantation's about 500,000 trees. It's really important to involve people on this journey, particularly at the start. You know, in the end, ERA have to hand it back. It has to be incorporated into the park. But if you don't involve people at some stage, they won't have ownership of it. They may not have the same feeling for that place. So to me, it was really important to get people involved at the start and create that relationship back with the landscape. When we brought out the traditional owners out onto pit 1, their first thoughts were it's a big blank space. There's no feature, there's nothing here. And we've always thought that there's a requirement to have some infrastructure out here that would cater for animals coming in, or what we want to see here. And so I suggested that we use rock formations. The other aspect too is that those animals coming in would bring other plant material with them, either on their fur, in their stomachs, or just making playgrounds out here like bowerbirds normally would. That then would bring other seeds out here, and often seeds that we wouldn't collect or can't propagate, those animals would bring them in. We're dealing with a blank canvas, and then every day you see these little things happening the way you thought they would happen. That's really inspiring. That's incredible. Yeah, I love it.
I'm really hopeful that in 10, 20 years' time, I can just look back and see that journey of the ecosystem developing and flourishing and all our important fauna coming back and bush foods here, and it's just resilient and alive.